Hello, and in these lengthening days, a very warm welcome. And as we're now turning very much into our Lenten journey, mirroring Christ's temptation in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, our path for many of us is called to be a path of prayer. And in any path of prayer, there can be uncertainty, even darkness at times. Today we're going to follow the best possible advice. We're going to stay local. We're going to stay local with a Bristol poet, well, an Oldland poet. That would have been Gloucestershire, I guess, when she was alive. Her name is Minnie Haskins, and this is a picture of her. She was brought up in the Oldland area, north of Bristol, and both her father and her mother made drain pipes for a living. Somebody's got to do it. She actually had a very remarkable life. She went to India as a missionary as a young adult, and after service there for a good number of years, had to return through chronic ill health. She then went into administration and became one of the founders of what later became the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. Moving on from there, she became a very successful academic at the London School of Economics. So a high achiever, but also very close to God. Her faith never left her, and in her many novels and few poems, we can see her faith set out to encourage and inspire. And her most famous poem, you probably know it without knowing the title. The actual title is God Knows, although it's more usually known as The Man Who Stood at the Gate of the Year. And this was the poem that the current Queen, when she was a child, picked out and encouraged the King to read at his famous New Year's broadcast. We'll hear the poem later, but it is usually framed in the depiction of a man standing at the turn of the year. And you know the illustrations we have of this is a baby usually, isn't there? A baby who represents the new year. There's this old man who is sometimes depicted as Father Time with a scythe, who represents the old year, and Father Time is handing to the baby, as it were, the keys of hope and opportunity and the new year that lies ahead. And this can be quite a sentimental picture, and here's a picture from an early 20th century postcard. He's on his way in the boat, sailing to his ultimate destination. Doesn't look terribly enthusiastic about it, and certainly not as the girl is scattering him with petals. The Man Who Stood at the Gate of the Year. That girl there is very much with the baby as being a child of hope. Someone who is young and who offers hope for the future, very much as we've rejoiced in the season of the Incarnation, as Christ is depicted to us as our ultimate symbol of hope in the future. But let's be honest with ourselves. For us and for everybody, the way beyond the gate, the way into the new year, the way beyond the ultimate gate, which is the gate between life and death, and what follows death, is mysterious. Last year, what seemed clear to us in January was in tatters before we were halfway through the year. What lies beyond? Where is this journey taking us this Lent? And for all of us, the gate might seem to be opening into mystery and into fog. And yet God promises to walk in the way and hold us by the hand. In prayer and by example, God is the walker ahead, the one who goes ahead, and the one who stays with us at the same time. As Minnie Haskins walks in her poem beyond the gate, she realizes that it's only once she's walked through it that she meets the hand of God. It's only when she enters the fog and enters the uncertainty and enters the darkness that the hand is there to hold and to guide. Listen to this passage from Isaiah chapter 30. It's verses 19 to 21. Truly, O people in Zion, inhabitants of Jerusalem, you shall weep no more. He will surely be gracious to you at the sound of your cry. When he hears it, he will answer you. Though the Lord may give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet your teacher will not hide himself any more, but your eyes shall see your teacher. And when you turn to the right or when you turn to the left, your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, this is the way. Walk in it. The hand beyond the gate. So that even if the way seems uphill, it nevertheless leads ultimately to light. We'll finish with Minnie Haskins' poem. And there's a surprise because when it's spoken, it often ends before the actual poem reaches its end. So here's the blessing in the tail as well. And I said to the man who stood at the gate of the year, give me a light, that I may tread safely into the unknown. And he replied, go out into the darkness and put your hand in the hand of God. That shall be to you better than light and safer than a known way. So I went forth, and finding the hand of God, trod gladly into the night. And he led me towards the hills, and the breaking of day in the lone east.